systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. It is Thursday, August the 1st. Can you believe that? Already August? It's already August. And summer seems to be just flying by. I don't know where it's going, but I would just hope that it would stick around a little bit longer. We're getting off to a little bit of a late start this morning, but I promise you it'll be a great show. We got a lot to talk about. There's lots in the news. We have a lot of local stuff, and we got a lot of talk about things, throughout the country. And one of the main things we're going to talk about is the state of the country, the inflation, the taxes that we pay. We pay an exorbitant amount of taxes, 42% of our income. A new report came out from the Fraser Institute. 42% of our income goes to just paying taxes, more than what we pay for necessities. So we pay more on taxes than what we pay on necessities. More of that to come later if that's something to interest you. I would just, stick around. It's going to be a great deep dive today. Lots to talk about in terms of local news. One local headline is the Kraft Hockeyville winners this year were Elliott Lake, and they won $250,000 to help refurbish their arena. But unfortunately, the arena is not going to be ready in time for the hockey game for the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Ottawa Senators. That game will take place here in Sudbury, September the 29th. So if you're interested in seeing an NHL game, but you don't really want to travel to Toronto or Ottawa or Montreal or wherever to watch an NHL game, you can see one right here in Sudbury, September 29th. I'm sure the tickets are going to go quick, so you're going to want to make sure to get those as soon as they become available. So that's a bit of a headline. I just wanted to give a head start on the headline for this morning's show. We are Sudbury News Talk. We come to you live each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. right here on CKLU 96.7 FM. We're also streaming at cklu.ca on the internet. Click on the Radio Player Canada app. You can stream us. You can also download the Radio Player Canada app and take us with you. Listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. We're also live streaming. Facebook.com/Sudbury News, YouTube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel and the page. Mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen during the show for those watching, and for those listening, I'll do my best to read the majority of them. And then as the show moves on, we won't be able to read all of them. It's impossible, but I do my best, as anyone who's on the show each and every day knows. And so we welcome you. Thank you so much for being here. It is your conversation on your station, which is CKL. You've been around since 1984, broadcasting from the McEwen School of Architecture, which is on the corner of Elgin and Elm Street in downtown Sudbury. Make sure to support CKLU by going to cklu.ca. Purchase a shirt, a mug, a hat, whatever, or just make a donation. It's the only reason we're able to stay on the air is because of you. This is your community radio station in partnership with Laurentian University. So again, it's going to be a great show. The show lives on demand on Twitter and Sudbury.news after the show, along with Facebook and YouTube. The conversation, although, will only continue on Facebook for some reason. That's just the only platform that, other than if you want to make a comment on YouTube or if you want to reshare it on Twitter, whatever, but the only place that the conversation actually continues, where people kind of talk to each other and reply to each other's comments and yada yada, is Facebook. It's where it's been continuing, and it probably will continue that way as long as we are able to be on Facebook. Just due to government policies, you never know. One day we could just wake up and we're not there. But let's just dive in. Thanks for being with us. We'll continue with a little bit of weather. We'll be back with your comments, news headlines, and more right after this. And weather brought to you by Duck Check. Visit duckcheck.com. They are your... oh, look at the weather. Just came right up just like that, right? So we'll start... I guess this is going to start it off again, but I'm not sure what's going on here. There we go. It's just a little bit late with the clicking here. My clicker is just sticking a little bit. So weather brought to you by Duck Check. There you got the intro again. Duckcheck.com. They are your trusted experts, professional with the latest equipment to be able to clean your ducks. They inspect them to make sure that that they're safe for the air that you're breathing in your home. They service Sudbury and Muskoka areas. Currently, it is 18 degrees. It's sunny. Today, we can expect it to be sunny with fog patches dissipating in the morning. High of 31, but with the humidex, get this, 38 degrees. It's almost 40 with the humidex. And yes, there's probably a heat warning, and yes, there is. So Environment Canada issued a heat warning event, a heat warning event. Yeah, that's a heat event. Continues into Saturday even. A hot and humid air mass is over Northern Ontario. Maximum daytime temperatures of 29 to 31 degrees Celsius are expected, with the humidex values 36 to 38. Overnight minimum temperatures will be 17 to 19 degrees Celsius. A cooler air mass arrives Saturday night. Extreme heat can affect everyone's health, as we know. The heat risks are greater for older adults, infants, and young children, pregnant people, people with physical and or mental illness, and people with disabilities or mobility issues. Drink plenty of water regularly, even before you feel thirsty, and to decrease your risk of dehydration. Thirst is not a good indicator of dehydration, so don't wait till you get really thirsty. Just keep yourself hydrated. Watch out for the vulnerable, the children, pets in parked vehicles. That's a no-no. You know all that. So heat warning for Northern Ontario. And that's that. So tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 20. Very hot for the night, right? 20 degrees. Friday, mainly cloudy, high of 31. Humidex is 37 again. 38, 37. Extremely hot with that humidity. Tomorrow, 31, mainly cloudy. It'll be 37 with the humidex. Saturday, 30 degrees, 30% chance of showers. Sunday, that's when it's going to get a little cooler. Look at this, 22 degrees and mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. Monday, sunny, 23. Tuesday, 23, mix of sun and cloud, 21, and mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. Look at your satellite forecast, satellite image here. You can see the clouds rolling in a little bit from the west. Other than that, it is currently clear over the city of Sudbury, or starting to get cloudy. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by Duck Check. Give them a call at 705-918-4848 or visit them online at duckcheck.com, ductcheck.com. Let them know that we sent you, and you'll get $100 off your next duck cleaning and inspection. And that's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by Duck Check. We'll be back with your comments, news headlines, and more right after this. Okay, it's easier said than done. The humidity today, I think, is affecting our mouse. The clicker thingamajiggy that you use to navigate a computer. And in this case, navigate the show on our basic webcast switcher. And a few people already joining us, actually getting more and more now that we've been back. We took off last Thursday and Friday. And a lot of times when we take a couple days off, it takes a little bit of time to have people coming back on. But I've been noticing a lot more people on YouTube these days, a lot more people watching the show live. And with that, a few people joining us already on YouTube. Nana, good day, everyone. Blessings with an emoji of some kind with an exclamation point. And Kevin, good morning to my friends And everyone watching, please like and share. Thank you very much, Kevin. And Evelyn, good morning. Another hot one today and for the weekend. That is 100% true. We just went through the weather. Also, Evelyn, for people wanting to live off grid, digging your well will cost you about $25,000. This does not include plumbing. Okay. Well, thanks for that. So you must have just got your well dug or something, because it seems to be fresh on your mind, and that is quite expensive, right? I don't know if you can just watch a YouTube channel on how to do that yourself and save some costs, or if you need special equipment, whatever. But yeah, you probably need people with know-how of how to do it, I would suspect, right? Well, thanks for that information. And yes, I think there's a lot of our viewers and listeners who have contemplated of living off the grid. I know many people who in my circle who do and have. Coconut water is the best thing to keep you hydrated. That's Bob Zanob. Thank you very much for that, Bob. And it is true, coconut water. Judy, good morning. First to the Facebook party here this morning. Vin, morning to you. Thanks for your message this morning. So if you just let everybody know, correction from the comment that you made yesterday, and you erased it on the show, that your friend had passed away from the accident they were involved in on their scooter. But what happened was they revived them at the scene, brought them to hospital, and I believe they're currently on life support. CBC reported it as they have life-altering injuries. So that oftentimes is vague. We don't know specifically, but that's probably what it is. So again, but it's not your fault, Vin. That's exactly what you heard. So no apology needed. Monique, good morning, Sudbury. Sunshine emoji, smiley emoji with sunglasses. Yes, that's what we're hoping for. Even though it's very humid, you can make the most of it. Get out and enjoy it as long as you keep hydrated. Marianne, good morning, everyone from Barrie, liked and shared. As usual, good morning, Marianne. Denise, good morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and healthy. Like and share. Thank you very much. Estelle, good morning with a sunshine emoji, it looks like. And it is definitely going to be a hot one today. Liette, good morning, everyone from Collingwood. A smiley emoji. Belinda, good morning. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. You're absolutely valuable and worthy. Double heart emoji. Thank you very much, Belinda. And that is so true. It's everything that takes place between your ears. If you believe you can, or you believe you can't, you're right. Either way, you're right. And it's all in the belief in yourself, right? So again, you said it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not, right? So have a belief in yourself. Work hard at whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And sometimes you can achieve your goals. And sometimes if it's not meant to be, however, I'm a big believer in that. Like if I was actually to go out and just do whatever I wanted all the time to achieve whatever I wanted, I don't think that would be in the best interest of my wife, my children, my best friends, things like that. So there's what you have for your goals in your life and what you think are important. And then there's also maybe something higher that you have to do. It's not always what you particularly want. You'll always have to be contemplating about what's the best for you and those that you're there for, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, these types of things too, right? Sometimes there's a sacrifice that's made of your own things that you want in your life for the betterment of those that you love around you. And that's admirable, I would think. And I've learned that at least, in my early 20s at least. And it's, even though let's say I wanted to be a musician. First, I wanted to be in hockey. I wanted to be in the NHL, and I was on my way towards that. Life circumstances changed it, put my focus into being a musician, and things were going well, and I wanted to go as high as I could in that profession, and just, that would have taken, it would have been a sacrifice of myself that would have sacrificed all the others in my life that I value very much. So, but at the same time, you do need to, you have goals in your life. Now, I have goals that include those people that what Belinda's statement totally applies to as well, right? That I can achieve those goals, even though I've changed them a little bit. I have to get out of my own way and not doubt myself and just believe in myself in order to accomplish those things. So thank you very much for that, Belinda, along with every morning as well when you give those kind of reflections. Mona, good morning, everyone, with a smiley emoji. Miles, hi, everyone. Olympics, getting exciting to watch, at least the sports. For sure, I thought that's what the Olympics were all about, were sports. I guess, team sports, individual sports, but maybe not everything's deemed a sport. I have no idea. But yes, I was watching some of the swimming yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I haven't watched Olympics in a long time. They only come around every 2 years, winter and then summer. But yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Brian, good morning. Freedom fighters, I prefer the man who gave up his rich lifestyle to save his country over the man who gave up his country for a rich lifestyle. Wow. Goes into my kind of unpacking of Belinda's statement this morning, actually, a little bit. So thank you so much for that, Brian. So many people did sacrifice their lives for our country, and yourself included as a veteran. Thank you very much for your service, Brian. Belinda, true women athletes having to compete against men in the Olympics, disgusting. I, for one, have not watched one single minute of the Olympics. Now, I might not be up on it. I didn't know. Are there any transitioned genders competing in the Olympics? I'm not aware of any, but maybe there are. And if there are, I also agree with your position, Belinda. Yeah, good time for a picnic at the beach. You can just cool off in the water right afterwards. Thanks, Denise, sharing a link for everybody here. And Pat, good morning. Today I'm thankful for air conditioning, and you and I are on the same page there as well. Modern technology, boy, where would we be without it? Marianne, saw your post. No one can blame her for bowing out. It's morally wrong for the fight to be allowed. Oh, is that from the Olympics? Or I'm not sure what that is entailing, but we'll know shortly enough. Denise, my father was a lumberjack. I remember the men, they had a point. They had a point. They dug holes. It would get water. It worked great. And they didn't need no stinking bylaw papers, nothing. It was there in the ground. Water was just there. That's true. How did they do it in the old days, right? My well goes in at the end of the month. So no sand points here in the Sudbury area because of the clay and bedrock. Depends where you are in the Sudbury area. I know in the valley, they're able to have points because of the sand. It's just sand, and then you have the aquifer underneath. A lot of places. Some places better than others. So we have a sand point. So yes. Oh, and Pauline. Hello. Bonjour. Bon matin. Great to see you on. I haven't seen you for so long. Thanks, Pauline, for jumping on. Marianne, praying for your friend Vin. Yes, we all are. And yes, thanks, Vin. Belinda, every experience has shaped us. What a beautiful legacy. Thank you. Yes, we all have one, right? I think we all have a story. We all have a purpose. We all have a mission in life. It's so wonderful when we find our meaning. Our meaning, we all have a specific one, different from anyone else. There's no reason to get depressed when you think that way. You have your specific purpose that nobody else has. And it's finding it that's incredible. It's a journey for each and every one of us. Marianne, oh, sorry. Okay, so speaking about the gender stuff in the Olympics, morally wrong and cheating. What has happened to our society where a man beating on a woman in sport is okay? Girls and women are being decimated by woke ideologies. Did anyone catch the two people that were arrested in Toronto, father and son, on terrorism charges? What did they expect when they let certain people in without vetting? I just kind of, illegals in, just saying, correct. There is, and I've always been an advocate for the law. Can you imagine that? I advocate for law and people abiding by it. Can you imagine that? It's so radical of me to say that. So people coming into the country without coming in legally, I'm not for that. I just am not. I think there's laws for a reason and you need to abide by them. And if the laws for some reason aren't fair, or, there's processes to change the law so that way we can all continue to be law abiding. But there's just kind of like this mind virus out there that you could be racist for saying a term like illegal, like an illegal alien, someone coming into the country illegally. And what the heck, legal means law. If you're not abiding by the law, it's illegal. So it's that simple. And our society is getting really weird with words and the understanding of what they mean. Chinese women basketball players look suspicious. This is Miles. Okay. Possibly 2 male boxers against women. You got to be kidding me, Bob. As if, what a sport to have that, to have a transitioned male to a female boxing a woman who was born female. So someone who was born male who transitioned to female, boxing against a woman who was born female. Wow. And we're making a big deal about intimate partner violence, and we're allowing that. That is interesting, right? Interesting. That's all I got to say. So whatever side you're on of that debate, and it is a debate, and it should be debated publicly, I think, more often. And I would welcome it on the show. If anybody supports that, the idea of a male who transitions to a female boxing someone who is born female, I invite you to come on the show as soon as possible, and we'll just have a chat. And I think it would be great for people to hear that if you're an advocate for it. And you know what? I put out these invites all the time, and nobody takes me up on it. I don't know why. It's just a conversation. And you're just going to come on. And there's a lot of people who feel very convicted of it. And you'd think you'd love to have a conversation publicly about it to kind of show your convictions, I would hope. I'm speaking publicly about my convictions. And I think it's healthy if we all could do that. And I would just love, because I'm just interested in why you would think that's okay. Why you would think that's fine to do that. Marianne, okay, exactly, 100% agree. Yes, 2 men boxing in the female category. Wow. Sad, Marianne says. And that's a good chief, always looks out for his people first. Yes, Denise, that is true. In boxing, a girl lost to a guy. So they've already started boxing. Oh my goodness. Okay, whatever. Just wait. If there's some kind of major injury, life-altering injury from one of these sports, is it going to take that for a discussion to start? Be careful going to the beach, especially in Wasaga. Landmines all over. Whoa. Okay. Yes, I know what you're referring to now. There was a story of some people defecating on the beach in public, which is gross. And wow, I can't believe that happened. And they happened to be immigrants. So that even, became even more controversial to some degree. I don't know why it is. If I went to the United States and I defecated on a beach and the headline said Canadian vacation or defecated on the beach. I mean, what would be, controversial about that? I'm a Canadian. I defecated on an American beach while I was there. If someone's new to Canada, they're a new Canadian. So it is what it is. I believe they're East Indian. And there were many people from the East Indian community who came out publicly and denounced that. And they said, what are you doing? What is that going to do to our reputation? And they denounced the people who did that. So that was good to see. Just people with common sense on both sides. That's just not right to do. There's bathrooms, right? So, okay. Does that mean we can't pee in the water? I don't know. So now, again, right? Whatever. Claire says, good morning, and good morning to you, Claire. Thanks for being on. Evelyn, I'm from Blizzard. You have to put in a proper well now because of what happened in Walkerton. I did not know this. Wow, that is news to me. I'll have to check into that. If you could email me some of that information at sudburynews@gmail.com, Evelyn, sudburynews@gmail.com, or reach me on Messenger on our Facebook. If you have like a contact at the city or something that you've encountered that says we need a well now, I'd appreciate that, because I know some people that are operating on a point and they might want to look into that. Thank you so much. Yes, Marianne, that's absolutely disgusting. Unbelievable. All wells go through the city of Sudbury and Health Canada, for sure. Seems the Olympics has failed on all levels. Athletes not happy with implemented green sustainable rules. Accommodations and food choices are not acceptable. So it would be, I guess, a woke Olympics, for lack of better terms, right? And no offense made on woke. Woke is something that's a term that's being used for far left radical kind of policies and ideologies, right? So that's all it's used to explain. Like if you're on the far left. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. So it looks like the first woke Olympics is upon us, from opening ceremonies all the way through to policies with gender competing athletes, all the way through to the types of foods they're eating and accommodations and all that, right? Okay, so they test your water before you're allowed to use it now. Okay, perfect. And good morning, Mike. Thanks for being on, Mike. I hope that you're able to stick with us. We're going to be talking about taxes, federal, provincial, and municipal, and how they weigh heavily upon citizens. So hopefully you're able to stick around for that. Belinda, yes, absolutely. I'm just seeing how many more comments here, because it looks like we might not be able to make it through the comments before we head to news headlines, because I want to just dive into everything, right? And Brian says we need to have a catch and release policy for this country as well. I can see that. So we'll leave it at that for now. We'll dive into news headlines from Sudbury.news. It's your news aggregator. With the new policies from our federal government making it impossible to share any news, or any news outlet to have a Facebook page for that matter, or Instagram channel or Instagram page, we created a news aggregator, so that way people can just go to one convenient location for their news, Sudbury.news. It's Sudbury, CBC Sudbury, CTV Northern Ontario, Sudbury.com, and Sudbury Star, all on one website. Just visit it, and you'll see why it's important just to have all the news in one convenient location. You can subscribe to all the newsletters for these outlets as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you just want to check headlines, as they're coming out, it's a great website for that. So here you go, Sudbury.com. Police talk down a person in crisis on Big Nickel Mine Road. The road was briefly closed Tuesday after a passerby spotted a person on top of a rock cut. So yes, I did see that the road was closed for a period of time. And here's another story from CBC this time. Charity in Sudbury scales back program due to volunteer shortage. Sudbury Shared Harvest has had to scale back its plans due to a shortage of volunteers. And is that a sad thing that's happening in our society right now? The fact that there's less and less volunteers these days? I don't know. I think it's happening. And if volunteerism is something that you advocate for and that you want to volunteer yourself, you go to a website called justserve.org. Just serve, just serve. Serve people. Serve your fellow man. Serve people kind. So go to justserve.org, and that will link you up with organizations in Greater Sudbury and surrounding area that are looking for volunteers. And so it's a volunteer dating service, basically. Justserve.org. Okay, so, we're speaking about water testing a little bit this morning. So incredibly disappointing. Ontario halts wastewater testing for COVID and other viruses, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous in the first place. That's just my own opinion. They're testing it for COVID. Ontario is officially ending the COVID-19 wastewater surveillance program today in a move some public health experts call short-sighted. Well, and some people would call health experts short-sighted after what we just went through and all of the boondoggle that we saw and all of the craziness of things, going on, and the scare tactics that were used on our society by everybody over the last while. It was totally unneeded, unprecedented, and hopefully never again seen in our society, although I'm pessimistic of that. There's a letter to the city's priorities, letter to Sudbury.com. A reader wonders why the city is so willing to spend big on a new arena all the while, failing to address a homelessness issue that they've paid lip service to for nearly 20 years. And that's from Sudbury.com, and then CTV Northern Ontario, story that goes along with it. Encampments grow in Greater Sudbury. Officials in Greater Sudbury say the shortage of affordable housing leaves more and more people without a place to call home. And again, for more on these stories, all you do is you go to Sudbury.news, click on the story, and there you go. Voila, it goes to these news outlets' websites. And there's probably a video from CTV talking about this. Kraft Hockeyville, yes. If you missed it at the beginning of the show, Sudbury will be getting the hockey game of the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Ottawa Senators, September the 29th, right here in Greater Sudbury. So we were wondering, it was either between us and the Sioux because the arena in Elliott Lake will not be ready in time. Okay, we want to get on to our deep dive today, too, on taxes. But remember we talked about yesterday, a Sudbury man lost his wheelchair in a home invasion? Well, he got it back. While it's damaged, police have recovered an electric wheelchair stolen from a Sudbury man. It was found in a dumpster several blocks away from his home. That story also from CTV Northern Ontario. So good news there. Sad news. We're talking about pedestrians being hit a lot lately in Sudbury and a lot of traffic accidents, more than usual. A pedestrian was killed in Greater Sudbury. A 92-year-old woman, pedestrian, was killed Wednesday morning in downtown Sudbury. With the woman, the reason why she died wasn't because she was hit by a car, but she was hit by the debris from a nearby collision. Very odd, and condolences to the woman's family and friends. Kind of a freak accident, if you asked me. So she was struck by debris from an accident, wasn't hit. She wasn't directly impacted by the accident, by hit by a car. It was the debris from the accident. Very odd. Yeah, so let's see here. Just going through, because some stories make it through from other areas as well. Sometimes we get some national news that leaks in, or news from Timmins or whatever. But there's a story from Sudbury.com that there's an advocate, a climate advocate from Sudbury, who's saying, basically her name is Kathy Orlando of Citizens Climate International, writes that the destruction wreaked in Jasper National Park by drought-caused wildfires is a symptom of climate change and highlights the need to act. Maybe the need to tax, right? The need to tax to prevent fires. Because the reason why I say that is we have a carbon tax, right? That's wreaking havoc on our economy and on our citizens that I don't think we're ever going to crawl out from under if it continues. But there was a lot more to the wildfire than just climate change, if you will. And tomorrow, I just want to give a plug for tomorrow's show. We're going to give the top 10 misconceptions that we've been hearing over and over about climate change on our Climate Change Friday edition of the show. Top 10. So you'll be surprised at some of them. And we've already shared on the show the Jasper fires. Sure, you can say part of the reason is the changing climate. Climate's changing all the time. However, it was forestry mismanagement at the highest levels. There was so much dead debris there that all it took was a little spark, a lightning strike or whatever, and mismanagement. They were warned years and years and years ahead of time that this would happen. They didn't do anything about it. They are incompetent. They need to be held accountable. And that's the reason why we had the Jasper fire. But you have advocates obviously coming out. If I'm an advocate for something, I'm going to take advantage of any opportunity to move forward my cause. I can't blame them for doing that. However, it's not just climate change. It is forestry mismanagement, period. And maybe, and I would have to say maybe, I don't have any proof of this, if it moves forward a cause of an advocate or an activist, you have everything to gain if it goes up in flames. And so maybe, I'm just putting it out there, that maybe that's where your incompetence comes from. It's because it's on purpose and you politicize it to move forward your agenda. And that's all I see in the news are agendas moving forward due to these fires going on. So that's just my own personal point of view. And I know many people share the same one. No, the wildfire in Jasper was caused by forestry mismanagement. This is Miles. They knew 20 years ago about the pine beetle killing off trees. Exactly. So my point, 100% there. Pierre Poilievre in town today and tomorrow. He'll also visit Elliott Lake and Espanola, the North Shore area. Check out Sudbury Star for that and more on that, where you want to see Pierre Poilievre in town. He's definitely gaining popularity across Canada and in Sudbury as well. You know, Sudbury's never voted Conservative, but this might be the first time in our history that could take place due to reasons, you know, we're going to dive into right now. What is it like? What's the lay of the land? What have we been experiencing in Canada? So this is just a citizen expressing their views, and I think many of us share them on the increases of taxes. The Fraser Institute came out with a new report saying 42% of our money goes to taxes, while less money goes to housing, food, transportation, necessities of life. We pay more to the government than we do for our own necessities. Holy Mackinac.
Let's talk about groceries in Canada right now. Groceries in Canada have become so insane. We have a family of 6. It's my husband, myself, my dad, and my 3 children. When I say children, they're adults. I have a 23-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 15-year-old. We don't shop at expensive places. We go to Walmart for our everyday goods. We go to another store called La Coco's for our produce because they have great produce. And then we go to the butcher's. Last week, for 1 week to feed our family at these 3 stores, which used to cost on average, I'd say about $350, $375, I spent over $600 last week for 1 week. I want to know how other people are doing this. Like, I really want to know how Canadians are affording to pay for these groceries. It is insane. And we don't eat steak every night. No, let's be clear. It's like chicken and sausage, and we have pasta, and some nights we do breakfast for dinner. Like, these aren't extravagant dinners we're having. I don't understand how Canadians can keep going with the prices of food, the prices of utilities, mortgage rates, property taxes. Oh my God, we got our property taxes in. I don't get how we're supposed to keep doing this. Our government is making us bankrupt. Absolutely bankrupt. There's no way mortgages should be as high as they are right now. I just don't know how we keep going. Anyways, end of rant. I'm back here picking up some groceries that I forgot. Let's not forget that part. $600 worth of groceries, and I still have to come back because we ran out of lettuce and I need more fruit.
So couldn't this be any one of us talking
people.
right now? Isn't she
What will
just
this man is saying?
isn't she just exactly like any one of us? Period. Like, I don't know. Like, each person listening right now could have the exact same rant, regardless of what our political leanings are, who we're going to vote for, whatever. And I just thought, well, you think, well, maybe it's just everyone in the world pays that many taxes, right? It's not just Canadians. Everyone in the world are paying taxes. So here's an interesting video, and I apologize for those listening on the radio. Here's a runner, and he's going to be so a visualization of how many taxes people in the world pay. And it starts off with the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and they don't pay any taxes. So the runner's running without any taxes on his person. And then he's going to be carrying bags of money, which are weight. And then by the time he gets to Canada, you'll see the weight that this particular person is bearing here. It's incredible to see the visualization of it. So we'll do it over again. United Emirates, nothing. India, just a couple bags. South Korea, 4 bags. Australia, a backpack, 2 large bags. Canada, it looks like he's going to be crossing, North America with supplies, basically. He can barely even hold on with the amount of baggage that he has of taxes, representing taxes, right? So there's everywhere from no taxes in the world to being just overtaxed to the point you can't even live. And now with the Fraser Institute's report out, we're being taxed to the point where we're paying more for taxes than just regular everyday goods. Is that the way? If you asked Canadians, would you like to pay more in taxes than you pay on your bare necessities in life? What would they say? But that's the reality in Canada. And has our standard of living gone up or down? Anyways.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. Today, Justin Trudeau dropped a video saying, if you have a longer-term mortgage, you can make smaller payments to start. That means you can buy your first home sooner. That is a lie. Starting August 1st, more first-time home buyers will have that option. The Liberal NDP government have officially become used car salesmen. It is exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter how much the house costs anymore. All that matters is what you can afford, and that's all the banks care about. So if you can't afford 25 years, they'll stretch it out to 30 years. Then they'll stretch it out to 50 years, and don't be surprised. And if that doesn't work, then they'll stretch it out to 100 years. The exact same thing they do for vehicles. The terms used to be 3 years, then 5 years, then 8 years, and even 10 years. How else are you going to be able to afford a $100,000 pickup? It is exactly the same thing with housing right now. They got to get these people in houses, and they got to get them paying into the system. Now, I'm not going to play this video. I'm going to save you the heart attack, the migraine, the bleeding ears, the anxiety. Continuing on with this topic, though, here is a great tweet from Robert Fife. Robert Fife is the Ottawa bureau chief of the Globe and Mail. Listen to this, and I will show you a short video that this post is based off of. So the average Canadian family paid more in 2023 on taxes than it did on housing, food, and clothing combined. Now this right here is what Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau will not talk about. This right here is the problem with Canada. Canada is not a serious country. We pay more in taxes than our own housing, food, and clothing combined. This is a complete failure and a failed government and country through my eyes. Calgary. The average Canadian family spent 43% of its income on taxes in 2023, more than housing, food, and clothing costs combined, finds a new study published by the Fraser Institute, an independent, nonpartisan Canadian public policy think tank. Taxes remain the largest household expense for families in Canada, said Juke Foos, director of fiscal studies at the Fraser Institute and co-author of Taxes versus the Necessities of Life, the Canadian Consumer Tax Index 2024 edition. In 2023, the average Canadian family earned an income of $109,235 and paid in total taxes equaling $46,988. In other words, the average Canadian family spent 43% of its income on taxes compared to 35.6% on basic necessities.
So that was Alberta News and Views. We often share their insight on things. It seems to be right in line with what everyday Canadians are thinking. Not the elite, not the super rich, not radical activists. You know what I mean? Just everyday average Canadian people who know what's going on. Who've lived here many years and can see the difference between what it was like before and what it is now. And it's we live in interesting times. We all know that. And we've reached the point now. We're paying more in taxes than we do pay on our own necessities. So what I said, I don't know, about 20 years ago, it seems like the government just wants to take all your money, and they've got to this point now. And I said, well, just take it all. Just take it all. You want it? Take it all. Just give me an allowance. And that's what communism is, and that's what it's heading toward. It's heading towards communism. It is. One can make the argument we're already there, but we have this facade that we're not. We're definitely majorly socialist, which is pretty much on the cusp of communist. But again, take all my money and just give me an allowance. That's what it is anyways. Don't even pretend. I don't like people who pretend. I like people who just come out and say what you're going to do. Like a company who just come out and say, I want your money. I have a product that can help your life, but we need your money to make money because that's what makes the world go around. So send us your money and we'll send you this product that will change your life in a good way. And don't play a game with us. We know the company wants your money. We know they're there for profits. Just come out and say it. The government's got to do the same. Look, we live off your taxes. And we need more taxes because we spend uncontrollably. We don't know how to manage money. So we're going to need more of it. Just give us all your money, and we'll take care of your needs because that's what they want to do anyways. We'll keep you safe. We'll keep you warm. We'll keep you all these things. And your quality of life will go into the you-know-what. But, just come out and say what you're trying to do because that's what you're doing. Anyways, that's all the time we got for the show today. Thanks for being on, everyone, for August 1st, Thursday, August 1st, 2024. That was your Sudbury News Talk. Make sure to check us out on demand on Facebook.com/Sudbury News, YouTube.com/Sudbury News, Twitter.com/Sudbury News, Sudbury.news, and make sure to continue the conversation on Facebook.com/Sudbury News. Thanks, everyone, for being here and contributing to the conversation. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the show. The show is for you. It's for us to try and make sense of the community we live in, the world we live in. And it gets more confusing each and every day. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. See you same time, same places tomorrow for our climate edition. You're going to want to see that. It's going to be pretty revealing, especially if you're interested in that kind of stuff. We'll be back same time, same place, God willing, tomorrow. Have a great, wonderful Thursday, everyone. Ciao. Oh, yeah.